saying goodbye isn't easy. Today I'm talking about my Nikon 200 to 400 f4 VR. So for me, I got into photography because I loved wildlife. So I always wanted a professional wildlife lens. Generally speaking, 400mm, which is the maximum reach on this lens, is passable for wildlife, but if you wanted to do birds, you definitely want to be at 500 or 600mm range. But I wanted a pro level lens that was weather sealed, but I didn't want to buy a 500 or a 600 because they're just that much more of a jump. And it's a lens that I wanted purely for enjoyment. I've never made any money from work using this lens, but it's one that made me passionate to continue with photography. So I've enjoyed this for the last 2 years. It's been fantastic. It's exactly what I wanted it to be and do. So yeah, I very much enjoyed it, but I just don't find myself going out and doing it very much anymore. I think a lot of the accounts that I see on things like Instagram and YouTube videos that I watch generally are people that live in areas where there's a lot more interesting, at least interesting to me, wildlife. Having been to Africa on 2 different occasions, there's just so much variety of wildlife to go find, and it's all so pretty. In the UK, we do have a mix of wildlife, but it's not so much the stuff I want to do, and I can't be making trips out all the time. So I am actually saying goodbye to this lens. I hope whoever gets it next really enjoys it, and yeah. So yeah, it's a beautifully made lens. I quite like that it's still got the plaque on it there. That's kind of cool, and the gold rings. So like, it just aesthetically looks really nice. Whereas some of the newer stuff, like my 50mm, it's a great lens. I absolutely love it. I love the bills, but little nuances like little carbon fiber hood is really nice, and the gold ring and the gold plate. They've kind of gone away from stuff like that now. So I kind of like those things about it. Build quality is fantastic. Autofocus speed is fantastic. Not crazy cumbersome to move around with. It's not super long. And the images are very good. Actually, a big criticism of this lens, which is actually why the prices of them aren't super high, is because there's a lot of comments about it not being particularly sharp when it's focused out towards infinity. And there is some truth to that, but if you're focusing at that kind of distance, then you're not really close enough for the shot anyway. You either need to be getting closer or you need a longer lens. So for me, photographing things like deer, foxes, small birds in the garden, this is perfectly adequate when it comes to reach, and you're not going to find any issues with it looking soft. It's super sharp. It's just if you're focusing really far away, you might find there's a little bit of a drop off there. But for a lens, really that was designed for sport shooting, which is something I never do. To be able to use it for wildlife, I very much enjoyed it. I'm really not using this lens. It's a shame for it to just be sat there. So I would much rather it go to a home where someone is actually using it and enjoying it. If you're ever selling a lens, I hope this video helps, because saying goodbye is quite a difficult mental hurdle to get over. But I'm just not using it. And I was glad that someone sold it when they weren't using it so I could enjoy it. And thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.